Right, drumheads, welcome to the PXR. Just finished the Loch Goilhead festival. Superb. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Dan Brown, and I'm going to get myself a beans because that's me back in civilization here in Las Vegas. Enjoy. Right, after a long wait and hiatus, I've eventually met up with
too long.
with Darren Brown.
Brown.
Right, well, Darren Brown, aye. Basically, what I was going to say is obviously you're more synonymous with playing with Inverary, but today obviously you're playing with your band, who is?
Heron Valley.
Okay, how long have you been playing with Heron Valley for?
Been playing with Heron Valley for 6.5 years. 6.5 years. 2019, I dipped a couple of gigs and then it led to playing with the band full time. So.
Right, so the kind of thing that people think about now is obviously every pipe band drummer obviously thinks that they could sneakily just go away, play a kit drum and rattle out a kind of random 4/4 type tempo. Well, myself, right? How long had you been practicing the kit? Did you do it at the same time, parallel with the side, or what?
So I started playing the snare in P6. So I would have been, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 11. And I didn't actually pick up the kit until I was in 4th year of high school. Just started kind of messing about with it. And then got really into that. I kind of came away from the pipe band side of it for a wee while and got really into playing the kit. But pipe band stuff always comes back. So.
See, how do you divide the practice time? Obviously, with a grade 1 band that you're with now, it's quite demanding, I would imagine, for the practice time. How do you kind of slot that and split that up between the kit?
There's a lot of practice that gets done with Inverary, especially this time of year. It kind of ramps up a wee bit. But I actually don't get to practice the kit as much as I'd like to. I've got an electric kit for the house, but it's just when you're coming home for a full day's teaching or doing whatever, the last thing you want to do is sit and practice. But the only time you really get to play is when you're gigging. It's a bit of a shame. It's kind of weird how it works, but I'd like to do a lot more practice in the kit, but just don't really have the time for it at the minute.
So obviously you've got pipe band influences and pipe band drummers that have obviously influenced you, such as obviously Stevie McWhirter, I would imagine, is a massive influence on you. But what about kit drummers? What kind of kit drummers catch your imagination?
Very good question. I'm quite into like pop music. Right. You'll like this one. Justin Bieber's drummer. Justin Bieber's drummer is a big influence. His name's Devin Taylor.
Right.
Kind of really gospel side.
Right. Okay.
Playing the kit. He's a huge influence. George Daniels that plays the kit with the 1975.
Yeah.
Kind of that poppy sound as well. Loads of kind of linear fills and stuff like that. A lot of stuff from him. And then I kind of grew up listening to trad music, so a lot of like listening to like Fraser West that plays with Skerry Vore and Rory Grindley that plays with Skipnish, with Skipnish, that kind of thing. Loads of influences. So the other thing about like
kit drumming, right? When people are saying, "Is it all about the chops?" I take it it's not for yourself about the chops. What kind of drives you for your technique when you're kit drumming?
The chops are good fun, but you can't obviously do that all the time. You don't want to take the piss, and it can sound a wee bit messy almost if you're doing fills all the time. I've probably get a few wild fills of me the night, full of nonsense, but you do have to kind of focus on the kind of backbeat a wee bit more, like the groove side of things, which is totally different from pipe band drumming because obviously pipe band drumming is so busy that you're playing so many, whether it's roughs or Rat McHugh's, it's pretty full on. You kind of need to think totally different about it in that way. I don't really know if that maybe drives me a certain way to play what I play when I play with the band. Yeah. But you do have to kind of totally separate it. There is a few influences that you can bring in. I have noticed myself sometimes playing, maybe not a Rat McHugh, but something like that on the toms, or doing a wee kind of fill and putting something like that in it that does lead to pipe band drumming. But yeah.
The another thing I was going to talk about the kit is what kind of kit are you using, and is there a reason why you've got the kit? Was it like a freebie, or was it like something that was cheap?
I wish it was
or was it something that you went out and went, do you know what, I'm wanting that kit?
I got a really good deal on it second hand at the time. I got it just before lockdown in 2020. It's a Mapex Saturn 4. It's a 3-piece shell pack, so it's a 20 by 16 kick, 10 by 8 rack tom, and 14 by 12 floor tom. It's quite compact. It's quite a tight wee sound off it, quite tight and thuddy. Normally people have got maybe 22 size kicks, but you don't really need that unless you're playing a stadium kind of venue. Like, you're not really needing that extra punch out of it. But for like doing the trad stuff, and it can fit in my car as well, it's a bonus that the wee 20-inch fits really nice. So.
How busy are you with the trad band, right? Because obviously you're going to have to negotiate all the competitions this year. So how does that play? How does that work? I mean, obviously one's got to kind of balance out with the other.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of stuff I can't do this year, festival-wise, with Heron Valley because of dates with Inverary, like competitions and stuff, just the way the calendar falls. But luckily I've got Callum Edwards. Shout out to Callum Edwards. He's debbing for me. There's a lot of kind of crossover dates, and it's hard to work out, but you kind of just need to weigh up within your own kind of agenda, I suppose. Like, do I want to compete with the band, or do I want to go and play a gig and make money? You kind of try and need to balance it both.
Right, see if I'm the master of puppets, right, and I could give you anything you wanted, right? Now here's what you can get, right? You can have Champions of Champions as a pipe band, grade 1 drum corps, right? Win the drumming, grade 1, right? Total champions, or Heron Valley starts filling arenas. What box would you pick? Box 1 or box 2?
So box 1's the band, box 2 is Heron Valley.
Yeah. We're talking arenas, we're talking merch, we're talking groupies.
We've got them, you're here. I need to go box 1. Box 1, Inverary. I need to keep that going. Because I think we'll maybe not get to arena level, but I think we're kind of on a good trajectory just now with the band, so if it keeps going like this, I'll be happy enough and fitting in the pipe band stuff.
Right, whilst we're mentioning the pipe band stuff, right, so let's think the solos, right? Obviously you've been doing relatively well at the solos, and obviously you'll be dialing down for the world solos towards the end of the year, October. How are you feeling about that? Because I can see that you're actually you've been scaling up.
Careful.
You've been scaling up. Not trying to hex you, but you're scaling up. You're getting in and about the kind of sheet.
Try to get the name in there more. I think I've always kind of wanted to try and do well at the solos. I never really done it too much growing up. I always tried my hand, but I didn't really know the kind of way you had to play. You need to play a certain kind of way for the solos. But I'm enjoying kind of putting a wee bit of time and effort into kicking off now. Enjoying putting a wee bit of time and effort into kind of refining my playing more for that style of playing as well.
Right, hopefully we don't get drowned out with that band, right? Because the last thing I was going to ask you, which is ironic, right, is obviously you're telling me about your pads not really kind of doing what it's meant to be doing. You're at your practice pad, right?
Hugh Cameron pad. It's kind of, as they sometimes do, they get a wee bit of a bubble and you have to get a new one, which isn't a bad thing. You know, it's good to keep getting a fresh one, but mine's just kind of seen its last legs just now, I think.
Right, I'm going to make a suggestion, right? I know a guy that's made a pad. It's just out its fresh line. It's called the Deft pad, right?
Made by yours truly.
And if you're lucky enough, I think we might put a wee tombola out and maybe the winner will get the Deft pad. But no, it's interesting you say that. We briefly spoke about that, about sometimes that people are actually hooked on their own pad rather than being on the drum skin, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right, that's that then. No, but generally what I'm saying is that you can be like, so you can be too enamoured with the I'm worried about the pad, I'm more interested in the pad, and it kind of shies you away from actually spending a lot more time on the skin, as it were.
Yeah, I think, well, at the band we predominantly use the Hugh Cameron ones just as a wee quick kind of 10-15 minute warm up, but kind of getting probably about next week onwards we're kind of on Russell's Rogue pads, RussellEsslerDrumming.com or whatever it is.
We've got something in common. It might not be good drumming, but we'll have the pad in common.
But so we go on them for a good bit of practice, just the surface of it, as you know, is a lot more similar to a Kevlar head which you get on a drum, so it kind of gets the hands ready a wee bit more, especially on competition days. We're on the pads maybe for 20 minutes before going on the drums just to kind of get going.
Right, hopefully, Dan, it'll be a good gig. And if it's no,
I'm sure you
I
can
want
do
my petrol money back. But I'm looking forward to hearing the band tonight. And I think it's good that obviously we get to see somebody that's a prolific Grade 1 drummer as well as somebody that's doing things out with the linear kind of thing of being a pipe band drummer or just a one drummer type guy. My last word is going to be hopefully we'll be able to get a look at the drum kit that you're going to kind of do it, and we'll get maybe a wee sequence of looking at that. But ultimately, thanks for your time. And you might be rewarded. Right? So thanks, Dan. Top man. Thanks very much. Cheers, man.
Cheers.